welcome to Unscripted on Fox Sports North, where we continue to connect with our viewers during this really unique time. Today on Unscripted, you'll hear from a pair of former Golden Gopher hockey players, Blake Wheeler and Kyle Oposo, and the head coach of the Golden Gopher men's basketball team, Richard Pitino. But first, we are joined by two of my all-time favorite athletes and human beings. Lindsay Whalen and Rebekkah Brunson are here. Hi, guys. Hi.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Oh, it's
Thanks
so
for
good to
having
see
me.
your faces.
Great to be here.
We're happy to have you. Hey, routines have changed so much during this really unique and unusual time. Lindsay, what's it been like just sort of on a daily basis, your personal and professional routine? What does it look like these days?
Yeah, so, start every day, wake up around noon, get things going. No, I'm kidding.
Noon.
No, I usually get up around 8-ish, try to get a workout in. And so then my Zoom calls usually start around 10, 11 with, some days it's a lot of stuff from, the athletic department, like, administrative calls, team calls. We have a team Zoom every Monday that we do at noon during our practice time. And then I try to keep in touch with our players, at least a one-on-one every week, every other week. So then I kind of start to get into that, and then, take the dogs for a couple walks, make sure they get out, and then, dinner at some point. And that's about it. Watching a lot of shows, still been able to recruit via Zoom. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it changes a little bit though, depending on the day, depending on how many, Zoom things I have or Zoom appointments I have.
And I bet it would be a lot different if you had a 1-year-old running around the house too, like Rebekkah does. How does that change your routine, BB?
Oh my gosh. Our routine is his routine, really. Get up at 7, get him some breakfast, turn on some Coco Melon so he can sing a couple songs. And we kind of just sit him in front of the computer at 9:30 because his daycare actually has a sing-along at 9:30. So we let him do that, and that gives us our half hour of breathing before we have to figure out where we're going to feed him, where we're going to take him, what park we're going to go let him run around at. Okay. But yeah, Weezy talked a little bit about prep food, maybe possibly eating dinner, but we're on his schedule. So we're getting our 3 meals a day. When he eats, we eat. And it's all good. And in between there, just trying not to go too crazy. Thank goodness for the Peloton. We get to work out, make sure we get those in every day. We've been making sure we take care of ourselves that way. And then like Way said, just hopping on Zoom, doing a lot of Zoom calls. We just had the draft. So there are a lot of those meetings involved, trying to figure out what we were going to do on that side of things. But it's really, we're on a 1-year-old schedule.
And Lindsay, you now have 2 years of coaching, 2 full seasons of coaching the Gophers under your belt. How far do you feel like you've come, changed, adjusted since you were exactly where Rebekkah was in just starting out and making the transition from player to coach? How seasoned are you?
Well, I'll tell you, this has been a whole new way of learning, like coaching a team through Zoom where people are all over the world. And so it's like, I'm trying to keep everything on schedule from what we would be doing right now. We would be in individual workouts, strength training, and we would be finishing out the semester, getting our kids ready for finals. So, obviously we're not able to do anything workout wise. And so we've really focused on the mental part. Like, what's your favorite part of like basics? Why did you start being a basketball player? And like really trying to get to know our players even more, because you recruit them, then they come here, and then it's next week is Illinois and this week is that, and you're kind of preparing the whole time. So we kind of reset back into kind of getting to know our players and getting to know each other on a personal level and a human level, which I think has been cool. And really, I've felt like we've really grown, honestly, as a team through this time, even being, we have people in Paris and Queens, New York, some here in Minnesota. All our coaches are here. So I feel like that, I don't know. I feel like I've kind of seen it all in like 2 years, because you kind of come in that first year is, you know, a honeymoon period. You know, everybody's just happy and excited and okay, whatever you say. You know, year 2, we had some adversity, and, you know, we really, you know, took a stand on how we're going to do things here, and how we're going to approach each other as teammates, and we're going to approach the game. And now after this season, this should be the time for our 8 returning kids before we bring in the new members of the team next year. And now it's all being done via Zoom. So it's just a way you've had to adjust. And so I don't know. I mean, we'll see what next year brings, but the first 2 years it's been, you know, you kind of say some normal stuff, and then now we're in, you know, a worldwide pandemic, and everybody's had to adjust. But as a coach, I think it's something that has probably made me a little bit stronger, because I've had to step outside of my comfort zone.
And Rebekkah, you're making the transition, but a lot of these players you know really well because you played with them, or have the advantage of watching some video on maybe the new players or someone you didn't play with. But how are you making the connection? Like Lindsay was talking about, really getting to know them as people, and you'd be doing that through workouts. You'd see so much of each other throughout the day if we were back in our usual, the way we used to do things, but we're not right now. So how are you making the connections, especially with players you don't know as well?
Yeah, a lot of that comes from like the FaceTime calls or Zoom calls or watching film on them. Like Wade said, usually once you get into the start of a season, it's very goal oriented. So I may want to talk to you about certain things, but we have to reach this goal. We have to prepare for this. We have to get this done. Yeah, you know a little bit about them and you talk and workouts, but it's really paying attention to what they're doing and making sure they're doing it the right way and making adjustments to what they're doing physically as far as basketball players. So this is like a completely different thing where you get to really talk to them, converse with them, what you do today. Okay, well, how's your family doing? Okay, we'll talk about the little things that get away from you as the season starts to progress. So I think that even though this is really different, and I think we all want to be in the gym and be on the court and be able to do those things, it's a time for us to really connect with players on a personal level and really understand, like Wade said, like, why do you do this? Why do you play basketball? What are you trying to get out of it? What are your life goals, not just your goals for this season? So it's different, but there are a lot of benefits to this opportunity, this time that you usually don't get in sports. Because like I said, it's about your opponent and what you want to do and how you want to improve.
Yeah, and if you want to find the good in it, there it is. Getting to know the human side a little bit better. You two are two of my all-time favorite people. So this has been a real joy and a real pleasure. Thank you so much for taking your time today. Rebekkah Brunson, assistant coach Lynx, Lindsay Whalen, head coach Golden Gophers. Thank you guys. Wonderful to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. We have to do this more often.